Yeah, behind the scenes, this is the first time we see you on my channel, which is the Academy of Tone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Martin Stoll from the German forum Musiker-Board. So, yeah, welcome. We met each other, I don't know, decades? 20?
Plenty.
Plenty. And we see each other on many occasions, like trade shows, NEM show.
Yeah.
What else do you remember?
The Fuzz Guitar Show in Sweden, including the multiple beers and a very good chat afterwards.
Absolutely. And I've seen you on some of my concerts as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember the town?
At that open air in south of Münster.
South of Münster, yeah. Dülmen.
Dülmen.
Dülmen. Okay.
Dülmen.
Yeah, Dülmen. Okay, the famous Dülmen. And you are very, very near to Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And your other profession is?
Air traffic control.
Yeah, this gentleman is responsible so your flight can take off and land safely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a paid video game going on.
Why not? Yeah. Other people, have to pay for toys, and he's doing that professionally, which is a good thing because toys, guitars, is kind of our topic. And so what is the importance of a German forum? I mean, we know there are some American forums, some British forums. How you see that in the world of forums worldwide?
The main thing for the German forum basically is not just to distribute the information, but also to give the Germans a home.
Yeah.
And you want to feel at home, feel warm, comfy and cozy.
Yeah.
And the chatting interaction for most of Germans is easier in German.
Right.
Of course, they all speak and understand English, so a channel like yours we are able to follow.
Mm-hmm.
But we found out that within a forum, if they read text in English, it's hard for them.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they go to YouTube, they accept it.
Yeah.
So, and the Musiker-Board is like a supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
It has all instruments, but it also has light and PA and recording.
Mm-hmm.
So it covers all of the musicians.
Mm-hmm.
We are having above 300,000 members.
How many?
Above 300,000 members.
300,000?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
And we have more than 8 million posts.
Okay, cool.
And that's video, photos,
Yeah.
chatting, everything you can imagine.
Yeah.
I came into that by visiting the trade shows, walking with my mobile phone and making videos. And from K&M, the German mic stand distributor,
Yeah.
we had a funny
König
one.
and Meyer.
König and Meyer. On the first NEM show I bought 2 iPhones. I was the only one at the NEM show with iPhones and not with big cameras.
Right.
And we placed iPhones in a setting to record from multiple angles. And you could see a Japanese gang coming by. And they normally really focus when they walk along the aisle at the NEM show because they're always busy and have to get to their next appointment. And the first one saw that, stopped, looked, the other 3 crashed into him. So, but the main issue for me to use iPhones is because the people I talk to are much less afraid of one iPhone than of 5 cameras.
Yeah.
So most of the time, the information you get in the chat is much more open, much more personal, and therefore the information I'm hunting.
Yeah. I mean, this is the good thing about a Musiker-Board. It feels very home and cozy and easy. I mean, every time I've been at your place, at your home studio for the Musiker-Board, it's like, home. I even spent a night at your place before flying somewhere overseas. He was my host, and he's doing the best steaks ever. So, Martin is doing great things to make all the guys feeling great. And what I like about it is it's a nice communication platform. So when you have sometimes guys that ask you questions that you don't know, you call me.
Right.
And so I get kind of a feedback of what's going on. And I'm happy that I have a kind of a little pre-filter because you already know a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't have to answer all that stuff myself. But it is, you know, as you have a large background knowledge in general about other manufacturers, about guitars, about amps, about whatever, you are somebody that can give a lot of guidance and information. And then
At least I try to. I mean,
no. I think it's pretty good. And then of course
the pieces start to fall together
Yeah.
and start to build up
Yeah.
to the knowledge, which is always important to have open discussions as we have.
yeah.
I mean, we have recorded sessions, but after that, during the stake, it never stops.
Yeah.
So the information transportation is going on all the time
Yeah.
in both directions. And that is the part I like. It's not that kind of interview style.
Yeah.
Here's my 5 questions answered.
Yeah,
It's always kind of
open.
unrehearsed,
Yeah.
open. Let's see where we go to.
Yeah,
like
and
like
this-
now.
Yeah, and this is what I like a lot because it makes, well, it feels natural, and it is what it is, and
Yeah.
this is the truth, and this is the best. And you also surprised me with like guest Gerd, for instance. I remember that
Yeah.
who is a killer blues player, and then we did something together just by out of the blue, and this was cool.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, one question about the COVID-19 thing. Have you noticed any changes? What people are interested in is like, what is
There's
new
there's
trends?
an overall change that comes a little bit from PA, public address, towards recording, home recording. And my standard phrase for that is, at the beginning of COVID, everybody was afraid to not being able to sell products. Halfway through COVID, we say everybody is afraid of not having enough to sell. So
Yeah.
if you look at how
Yeah.
many guitars have been sold the
Yeah.
last year, that is definitely a hype. People come back, have to stay home, remember what they did 20, 30, 40 years ago,
Yeah,
and said, now would be the good time to restart the thing that I had,
the passion.
where I've been blocked out by, in a positive way,
Yeah.
by family,
Yeah,
by perhaps sports, by all that stuff. So I think people come back to music, trying themselves, which in the long run will help everybody that is able to get through COVID, provide live concerts as you do, because there will be a bigger base afterwards.
hopefully. Yeah, but I can see. I mean, we experienced the same thing with blue guitar. Like after COVID started, I thought, man, this is heavy. You know, we had bad numbers, and I'm not about money. I just want to keep the business alive and my little company alive. And then in the second half of 2020, the sales kind of went up, and at the end of the year we were at the same level as before. We don't sell guitars, unfortunately, not yet. One day you will see the blue guitar, which is behind me. But you know,
Again, you mean?
again, of course, you know, good things take a long time. Yeah. And my biggest problem is not having ideas. My biggest problem is to realize them in a way that they are actually available as a stable product. And I'm very happy about my amp-1s that, you know, after these 4 or 5 years, 6 years now, everything is kind of 100% spot on like I wanted it, you know? And we have stock, which is great. At the beginning, I thought, man, we placed that fucking order and now comes COVID and we will not sell anything. But we were lucky because our manufacturer forced us to take the delivery.
And
now I'm happy, and I'm out of stock with cabinets, which is weird because nobody has gigs anyway, but some people buy cabinets even with the
living
amps.
room.
Yeah.
Since your amps work at a quiet level as well.
Yeah.
You can have that in the living room, and that helps.
And we make nice small nano cabs, which are cool and
Perfect for that.
For the home as well. Yeah.
And that reminds me as well of on one of our first chats when amp1 was kind of
New.
new coming in your brain. And the first topic we were talking about wasn't the amp, but was you as a musician now being a manufacturer.
Yeah.
And I remember your face.
Yeah.
This chat is going the wrong direction, but
Yeah.
but it showed how much is behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And that is the interesting thing, and that is what the users in Musiker-Board appreciate if they get the chance to get their hands on those informations. Of course, every manufacturer from the big ones can make shiny product videos. But for me personally, if I want to buy a product, I appreciate to know the people behind the product.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things we are trying to do. I talked to Lynn Laney, I talked to the guys from Mesa. We had a questionnaire with Mesa where the questions provided by Musiker-Board were that good that all 5 of the head guys had to come in and sit with us for an hour for that interview to answer the questions. So,
cool.
And the questions I drag from the questions the users have in Musiker-Board. Sometimes we start a thread early and involve them in posting the questions. Sometimes it's just me, but I've been reading the user threads before I go somewhere.
Right.
So I basically know what they perhaps would like to know.
Yeah, but you get a feel for it because
you get a feel for it. Right.
For how many years are you doing the Musiker-Board now?
Musiker-Board is 20 in March 2021.
Yeah.
20 years. I'm not involved that long, but definitely long enough.
10 years at least.
Yeah, doing moderation in the forum and then doing the trips to the shows, where the profession helps because air traffic control is shift rhythm, which means a typical manufacturer I can visit during a weekday, so he hasn't got to spend his weekend.
Right.
For me, that helps a little. And lucky enough, my wife is with Lufthansa, so that helps to get to the different places.
So you get cheaper tickets, I think so, kind of.
There's a little help in there.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Okay, that helps.
Most of the time, it's not really cheaper, but it's more sleep.
So you travel the business class, or?
If they let me, yes.
Okay,
that's the main idea behind it.
What is your expectation for flights, for prices on flights? Will they increase, decrease, or what's the future after this whole scenario?
From my opinion, there is a cleanup going on, especially in the European market.
Which means airlines will kind of
reduce their number of aircraft, reduce the capacities. I personally seat capacities per plane, put it that way. In regard to amount of flights, I'm pretty much convinced that the amount of flights will reach a level as before, but with a smaller aircraft. Because the typical businessman still wants to go to New York 5 times a day as an option. So instead of taking 400 persons...
Not one guy to make just this. It's like we need 5 flights a day to go to New York and probably back for business.
Business travel.
Yeah, okay.
From Frankfurt.
Yeah, from Frankfurt.
There's another 3 from Munich and another 10 from London and so on.
Yeah.
So there is plenty of travel.
Yeah.
And the businessman wants the diversity in the times.
Right.
So you can't reduce to 1 flight per day, take a big aircraft, you still have to fly smaller aircraft. And I think the manufacturers of the planes will react to that. And the companies will react to that by just having less seat capacity, but will try to fill the flight plan itself to the same level as before.
Okay, and what about the super big aircrafts like the
A380?
Yeah.
A380. There will be still routes where those help.
Yeah.
But not in the amount as before.
As before, okay.
And it always had been a challenge. The thing is, a full Airbus 380 is really cheap to fly. But all the internet tools to make it full is hard to coordinate.
See, that's behind the scenes. And now we're talking not guitars, we're talking air flights, which I've always find interesting. You know, I mean, Musiker-Board and meeting people through Musiker-Board is what is making our network bigger.
Yeah.
And you know, any kind of problem, we know somebody. I mean, you know, at least you know some people you could ask, and then probably know somebody. And you know, I think one day I needed a Laney double switch, and I know that you have good contacts with Laney. So you know, it took 10 minutes, and nobody else in Europe could solve the problem, but he did. You know,
Lucky.
yeah, no, okay,
Lucky again.
yeah, but you know, this is how it goes.
No, but there's people I refer to, like if anything that is strat related, I normally refer to not you, but Tom Anderson.
Yeah, is another Tom.
Another Tom, right? And we had, because Tom Anderson comes from that kind of second generation California guitar builders.
And
He's been with Dave Schechter.
And then
Stuff people don't know is that before he went into guitar business, he was winding motors for slot cars, Carrera-Bahn for the German business. So that portion he had done all his life.
Yeah.
And he's building guitars, I think, more than 30 years now.
Yeah.
And when I asked him, what is the biggest improvement on a Strat in the last 30 years? And he said, can I make a list and how much time do you have? So that's the way he ticks.
Yeah.
And whenever I have a question, a general question about Stratocasters or the style of Stratocasters,
that's him.
I send him a mail.
Yeah.
He answers, he's friendly. So obviously he enjoyed the chat we had as well. And that's the way it should be.
Absolutely. Yeah, and sometimes I receive questions about the M1s from Martin because, you know, people bug him and then I have to confirm little things or, you know, explain whatever, and that helps.
It takes the guessing out of the users.
Yeah.
Because the other users jump in with their potential knowledge, which most of the time helps. But as soon as I find a point where I think it's not knowledge, it's guessing, I always think better come back to the real man.
And ask for the real, for real information.
Yeah. And actually, that might kill us 100 posts. And posts is the money basically we make. But if we have the question answered, that's even better.
Yeah, I think in the end, it's about real good information and a good service. I mean, of course, you have to trade in quality. So, I mean, publicity is one thing, but quality is another thing. And to find a good balance between the two components is what it takes. And I know that you are always interested in real deep information from the right people, and that's so important.
It is also important because at the spring update 2020, Google changed a little bit their analytics, which didn't help forums. But during the half year to the next update, they found out that forums basically is a good thing because there's plenty of knowledge there that they can retrieve and find. And the latest software update of the forum software, the Musiker-Board is using Xenforo.
Xenforo,
is version 2.2, and that will also allow for the moderators of the forum to kind of mark the best answer to a question. Which means that access is even easier to the solution.
Right.
Because Google kind of looks in the question, is it a good question? Then it looks through the first page, perhaps through the second page, if there's valid information. And if it sounds like users are happy, because what Google does is it starts to learn the language. So it can really understand the message and not just read the text and look for words. So it starts to look for messages in there, and then it's ultra important to have the right answer marked so that it kind of in the thread structure also moves just behind the question
to the top level.
And that's what we will do starting, I think, March to implement that. First upgrade the forum and then start to put those implementations in, so it's even easier to find good answers. On the other side, it's also for us really important to have the good chatting. We want the community.
Yeah.
We want that when people come home, they are not dragged to Facebook or Instagram.
TV.
They are dragged to Musiker-Board to see what happened in their chats today. And if they spend extra time and if they then go, that's fine. but the main idea is to make them feel Musiker-Board is their home.
Right. And this is, I mean, it's very attractive. And from what I learn now is it is a living animal. I mean, you have to you have to spend a lot of time to be always top notch and to learn, you know, like these new technologies, like these new structures, and you know,
the organization behind it is really slim but knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So that helps, and the team of moderators are really
motivated.
They're interested to kind of act towards the user as if they would be customers.
Cool. So I think for all the English guys out there, learn some German at the Musiker-Board. And for all the Germans here, Jungs, wenn ihr noch nicht im Musiker-Board seid, dann wird's mal Zeit, ne?
For the English users, we will leave a link to the YouTube channel, because some of the stuff naturally is English because the person I talk to speaks English only. And you find stuff like Tommy Emmanuel or Andy Timmons interviews with him in German so far, but there's plenty of stuff in there in English as well, so whoever wants to look into that is welcome to do so.
Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Stoll from Musiker-Board, been a big pleasure, and I see you soon somewhere.
Somewhere, anywhere.
Anywhere. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao.